So once again, hello, beautiful beings, and thank you for joining. We are in a really interesting time with the planetary systems and energetically. We actually have 4 retrogrades that are happening within the month of April. And a retrograde happens when it appears that a planet is moving backwards. This isn't actually the case. It just has that appearance, and energetically it can really create some disharmony with our flow. Depending upon your own astrology and signs and different things, for some people it may be more impactful than others. Either way though, technical glitches can often happen, which we experienced recently, so thank you. And I'll go through the planets that are in retrograde at this point. We started with Venus last month, and that will wrap up this Saturday on April 15th. We also have Saturn, which started on April 6th. Mercury started this weekend on April 9th, and Pluto goes into retrograde on April 20th. It's a whole lot of chaos and upheaval in our planetary systems and out in the universe. On top of it, we've also got the beautiful full moon that happened last night, known as the pink moon. And any time that we go through a full moon, it's always a beautiful time to reflect, set an intention. And in this particular one, I'll go through a few more holidays that are happening, and we'll hopefully see some connections and tying together of all of these different aspects. So last night into today, we're also celebrating Passover. Excuse me, sneezing on the truth. And what happens with a lot of these different holidays is that they are based on specific traditions. So Passover and the spring barley equinox, which is the celebration that is based off of, is really a time of reflection and beauty after barley, back in the ancient times, was the first edible item to come lifting up out of the ground after winter. And we celebrated the equinox last month, and we're now going into the full moon, and we have our first Sunday this weekend, which will be Easter. So all of these different times have historically been reflective on each other and occur for different significant historical moments in time of celebration, of turning points, that transformation. For months now, we've been talking about moving out of winter and into spring. And this time, this week, this month, certainly embodies that and shows the many different historical occasions that were introduced and that continue to foster in our world today. So I know that's a lot to take in, specifically when we go into retrogrades and we've got full moons and all of these different things. With Saturn, one of the invitations for us is to move at a little bit of a slower pace. And that can be wise for us at all times, especially when we've got 4 retrogrades though. It's a good time to just proceed with caution. And Mercury is certainly the trickster of the bunch. One of the highlights of Mercury is that there is often technical, transportation, glitches, delays. So if you're flying somewhere, if you notice your computer just goes on the fritz, some light goes on in your car, and then a couple weeks later it goes off again. A lot of really curious things happen. This can also be a time when we're really focused on finances and self-esteem. So if you're worried about rent or stolen identity or your bills, there's just a lot of energy around that worry. And Mercury will be in retrograde from April 9th until May 3rd. So hold tight. We've got a couple more weeks. It's also a good time to avoid big purchases if possible. So that car that you're thinking about buying, maybe hold off until May 4th or the week after. Just an option. The other good thing to do is that if you do have a plan to make a big purchase, it's great to really set that intention. Hold that space around you. Be incredibly thoughtful about your purchase. And this also goes back to Saturn in proceeding with caution. So can you slow down that decision process? Be really thoughtful about it as opposed to being impulsive. Relationships can often be clouded. This comes more from the time that we're in right now with Venus, and that is wrapping up this Saturday. So we certainly, while we merge Mercury and Saturn and Venus, having conversations in relationships can be healthy, and yet it's possible that the communication will get garbled in this time. So if there's a conversation you want to have or you've had in the last week and it's still gnawing at you, it's possible that if you attempt to have a similar or same conversation after April 15th in the relationship realm, the communication style, the understanding between all of you will be a little more effortless, or maybe you'll be able to see each other on the same page or hear each other and listen a little bit better. Again, these are all guidelines. We don't stop having relationship in this time. We don't stop communicating or using our cars. It's just a time to really reflect and be a little more thoughtful. And then there's Pluto. Pluto happens on April 20th, and Pluto, unlike the others, is really more an overarching source of control in our life. And it could be that if we're feeling a little asleep at the wheel, that it's a moment for us to wake up and really come into ourselves. And again, this can be said, we so often want to feel like we are aware in our lives and that we're paying attention. And yet, on average, the waking person spends 47% of their day on autopilot. So Pluto is giving us that invitation at a much more broad level. And in any given moment, we can really just take that experience and go inward and contemplate, are we really here? Was I really listening to that person in that conversation? Was I really focused on my child when they were asking me about something? Or was I half making dinner and half listening? And can I be more fully present in each moment in my life? So why don't we, with all of those wild thoughts in mind, take a few minutes collectively to just get centered and go inward, to have a little gratitude for what we have right here and now in this present moment, and to appreciate all the ebbs and flows that we experience in life. We wouldn't know what light is without dark, so we need both, and they fuel us, even if in the moment it's not feeling like the yum experience we want. It may be more of that yuck. Can we hold both, knowing that, like everything, there is change, And even if it's the most phenomenal moment, it too will change. And if it's a challenge, it too will change. So why don't you get in a comfortable position, seated if that feels right for you. Having good posture is always an advantage. It allows the spinal cord and all of the energy and the chakras to flow more fluidly. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to close your eyes. This can often help us focus a little more inward. And let's take a couple nice, long, slow, deep breaths in. Exhaling. And another. Exhaling. And one more nice, long, slow, deep breath in. With an easy exhale. So as we think about the various holidays that are upon us, celebrations from long ago, based on the equinox, inviting spring into our lives, the full moon, shining her brilliance and light down upon us, all of the planets in their splendor, whether they are in retrograde or moving direct. Where are we in all of this? Where are you right now? Emotionally? Are you feeling settled and grounded? Or maybe a bit flustered and agitated? Can you breathe into your body? Any of those areas that could use a little attention? So often through our day, we're focused on our mind. And unless our body really screams out to us, indicating pain, typically, we ignore it. And so often, it is sending us subtle signals. This is a beautiful moment to listen to our body. To the message it provides us. To be preventative and listen before it screams loud enough for us to hear when we experience pain. There are hundreds of thousands, even millions of aspects of our body that are running in the background at every single moment. When you go to sleep at night, you don't wake yourself up every 3 seconds to remind yourself to breathe. This beautiful automated system takes care of all of that for us. It regulates our temperature, typically around 98.6 degrees. Isn't that amazing? that here we are, sitting in a space of room temperature, maybe in the 60s, 70s, or 80s in Fahrenheit. And yet, our body is 20 to 30 degrees warmer than the temperature around us. All of that mystery and amazement is happening with finite processes in the body. So in this moment, we can take time to thank our body for all of those automatic background tasks that it is supplying for us. We can be grateful for the food we eat and the liquids we consume that convert into energy and continue to keep us in a balanced state. So even when our mind may be racing, we have this opportunity to connect with our body and experience the calm and harmony and balance that it provides. Starting with our feet. Do they feel sensitive? What can they feel touching the earth or the socks that they feel? Are they constricted or feeling loose? What can you do to breathe into your feet, your ankles, your legs, to provide even more soothing and calm right now in this moment? And continuing to move up the body, your hips, your abdomen, your pelvic region. Do you feel knots here? Is there strain? If so, taking a nice, long, deep breath, letting your belly expand easily, and exhaling, letting your stomach contract inward. Doing this a few more times. Noticing what's going on in this area of your body. Tending to any areas that are craving a little more attention. Relaxing your lower back, your legs, your arms. Relaxing into this moment. Moving up into your chest, your shoulders, your upper arms, your lungs. How do these areas feel? How can you make yourself even more comfortable? Noticing your breath. No need to change anything, although you may find that if there's an area with tightness, you can ease your way into it by focusing your breath in that specific region. This is your time to get connected. So feel free to play around. Maybe you'll change the tempo of your breathing. Long, slow, deep breaths can often provide calm, soothing, more relaxing states to increase your energy. You may engage in more active, rapid breathing. What is it that you need right now that will feed you and feel the best for you in this moment? And as we move on and move up from our arms and our shoulders, we go into our throat. This is the fifth chakra. And this is where all of our communication verbally comes from. As we move into these higher realms, we notice how we move slightly away from the material and more into an intellectual capacity, into maybe a more complex dynamic, as our communication can aid us in creating beautiful projects and dialogues and sharing community. It can also be the cause of hurt by way of feelings or miscommunication. So breathing into our throat, thanking it for the service it provides. Allowing it to get a little softer and more relaxed. To just be. And continuing upwards to our jaw, our cheeks, our face, our eyelids. Similar to our throat, we communicate with our eyes. Our voice comes out of our mouth. so much that happens from the neck up. And of course, this includes our very active mind. So this is a moment to sit with whatever is, breathing in and allowing our jaw to relax a little more, our eyes to get soft, even if they're closed. Are you focusing on something with your eyes closed, and can you just allow more effortlessness, more being and less doing? And can we have gratitude for our beautiful mind that has 60 to 80,000 thoughts per day? And they are likely coming right now in succession. Maybe just slowing them down, maybe allowing them to continue flying by rapidly, and just not giving them the attention we often do. Allowing the body and your sensations to be the focal point of these few minutes. To be where we place our attention, this one body that we will carry for all of our lives, some form of it that has been with us since the very beginning. Just honoring that and experiencing that right now, however it's showing up for you. We'll take a few moments to just spend in silence, continuing to focus on your breathing and on your physical body. Breathing in relaxation and letting go on the exhale of any stress in the body. Relaxing, letting go. Breathing in the ease and letting go of what no longer serves you. We'll take a few minutes in silence, and I'll ring a chime so we can come back together and wrap up. When you're ready, feel free to open your eyes if they were closed, to take a moment, noticing if you feel any subtle shifts in your body or in your emotions compared to a few minutes ago as we started. These simple time-ins that we do, especially throughout the day, can really provide a reset for us. It can be especially helpful as we're transitioning from one aspect of our day to the next. How often might you have had a crazy day at work or challenges in your office and brought them home to your family or to your friends? So having these moments where we can let what happened in the past go, release, and become recentered in the present moment, so that for each movement and experience going forward, we have a fresh perspective. I'd like to wrap up today with a tarot card. What's kind of fun about these, I use the Osho Zen Tarot card deck most often. And this can be a really nice way when we're feeling overwhelmed and a lot is going on, to just have a simple message for the day. How often do you get up and it's just simply right into the routine? Get ready, take a shower, brush teeth, hair, eat something, check traffic, and go on my way. And so these messages for the day or evening, whatever time it may be, wherever you are, can be great to just get us out of that routine. So, how can I be even more present and aware today and this week? And the card that we have pulled is New Vision. This is quite appropriate as I just pulled this card the other day, so it continues to reappear. And the beauty of the New Vision card is that it's hard to see, but there is a human here that is birthing from the earth and coming into this broad, expansive being. And there's actually these wings that are starting to appear. And so the idea of the New Vision is that we're continuing expansion. So how can I be even more present today was our question. And I think that this card invites us to consider creating a new vision. Maybe waking up as we head into Pluto in one of our retrogrades that invites us to look at things from a different vantage point, to consider sources. So I will read just a bit of this card. There's a lot to it, so I'll jump in here a little bit. The figure on this card is being born anew, emerging from the earthbound roots and growing wings to fly into the unbounded. This symbol and this card is really all about the manifest, the unmanifest, and the human being who contains both. We went through a lot in our meditation today about the upper area, a lot of our mind and what is going on here in the higher realms. And these can often be the unmanifest. Our thoughts do not have to manifest, and yet we can have them. So really beautiful to see the tie-in there. Now you are presented with an opportunity to see life in all its dimensions, from the depths to its heights. They exist together, and when we come to know from experience that the dark and difficult are needed just as much as the light and easy, then we begin to have a different perspective on the world. By allowing all of life's colors to penetrate us, we become more integrated. I think that's a beautiful card for us to wrap up with. In about 3 sentences, that card summarized most of what I was trying to say this evening in general. So hopefully that's a beautiful takeaway, that we can look at all of those colors. They all provide a part of this gorgeous rainbow. So I hope that today provided some calming and some soothing, maybe some excitement. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning. Thank you so much, and namaste.